across another cat that was in this season that basically had the same mindset. What can you do for me in this marriage? Not how can I be of service? How can I love my wife better? How can I be a protector, provider? But what can you do for me? We're going to find this out about someone else. Not calling any names. Not calling any names, right? but I really did love, yes, I really did love that Jasmine really kept it. She was proud that she committed. I'm proud of her that she committed. And even though they paired her with somebody who really wasn't giving, he wasn't committed. He's never been in love before. So I think Married at First Sight was wrong for that. But that's what they do. That's what they tend to do to women of color, to Black women, to Hispanic women. We know how they messed up with Mirla. And now, wait a minute. We ain't going to even talk about the fact that they're going to try to set her up with Gil later on. Are you kidding me?
Jasmine
Who
with
they
the
setting up?
dusty. I
Oh,
thought
wait a
it
minute.
was somebody
Oh,
else.
is it Kirsten or who are they setting Gil up with? Who are they trying to set
Was it
Gil
Dominique,
up?
I think.
Dominique?
Dominique.
Okay. Well, same thing, same
Mm.
difference. It's still a woman of color, and they're trying to set her up with another Dusty. Lord have mercy.
Well, you know
Have
she's not going
mercy.
to go for that.
No, she's pretty intelligent. I mean, I don't think she will. I don't think she will at all. So we'll move on to our next couple, which is we're gonna do them in the order this time rather than in order of how boring or less boring they were.
Okay.
Oh, I know that terrible, isn't that just terrible? But we'll move on to Chris and Nicole. Chris
Wow.
and Nicole. What did I say? I said Chris and Nicole. Pop up there. There you go. Uh-huh. So we want to go with Kimberly. You want to tell us what did you think of the two of them and what they had to say? Were you shocked, surprised? What did you feel about this?
No, no shocker there. Nicole did make me a little nervous last episode when she was saying something about she just wanted to make sure it's the best decision. And I'm like, wait a minute now. I thought y'all were going to be saying yes all along, but I was not surprised that they gave us a yes, that they would like to stay together. And I just think it's okay. It's okay. I think they'll be able to work it out with a little help, like I've been saying, from maybe some counseling, just to get Nicole kind of up to par and just a little more love for herself and not to be beating herself down so much. Chris needs help too. I'm not going to act like he's perfect, but I really do see this going far. So hopefully they will make it and complement each other.
Right. That's exactly right. And then over to Mocha Mima. What did you think about what he had to say about what he feels that his wife needs to do, Mocha?
Um, I felt like he was right, but I felt like she kind of threw it back at him.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
when she said that he basically needed to do the same thing, but I just don't. I hope they last, but I don't see that
Well,
it lasting.
well, we're okay. Well, we'll stay focused on the decision, though.
Mhm.
What did you feel like about the decision? What did you feel that you said when she threw it back on him?
Well,
What did she?
he said that
Go ahead.
he didn't want her to like down herself anymore and to have
Mm-hmm.
basically have more confidence and follow through. And she wanted him to do the same thing. Like she talked about him, getting up and doing things and whatnot. And
Mm-hmm.
and he said like the same thing back to her. But it's like it's from what they show us. It's like
Mm-hmm.
she does more. Like she gets stuck into things like
Yes.
when it doesn't
Yes.
happen her
Yes.
way, she gets stuck. Where it seems like he doesn't get stuck, but we only can go by what they show her. But she gets stuck and she
Mm-hmm.
opines on stuff where
Yes,
it's
she
like,
does.
and he looks like, will she ever shut up? Like he has that look. Like, will she shut up? Will
That's
she
it. Talk
stop?
about it. Talk
Like
on it, Mocha.
really,
Talk on it, girl.
that's how he looks. Like, will she stop? Like she spirals.
But you
Like
know what?
she's.
Then what he maybe, and not to cut you off, but maybe
Mhm.
what he has to learn to do is like, jump in there and say, okay, wait a minute. All right, dear. I mean, you could be nice and kind about it. All right, dear. I heard you when you said it the first two times.
But he may
Let's
not be
not.
that type of guy. He may not be that type
Yeah,
of guy to
that's
do
true.
that. That's the thing.
You're right, and she does have to self-regulate. I'm not trying to make it his
Hmm.
responsibility. Let me first clarify that. But
Right.
I can say that sometimes we all know people, we have friends or maybe family members, and there's some things that they, like you said, they get stuck. And if you're a good friend and you're familiar with them and you have the bravery and the fortitude, sometimes you have to help them to get unstuck. What do you
Yeah.
think though? What do you think, Mocha? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Yeah,
What are your thoughts on it?
for most people, yeah, but he might be one of those people that gets to the point and then he'll blow up. He may be one of
Ah.
those.
Oh,
Like
okay.
Remember Miguel and what was her name? Lindy from last.
Lindy. Yeah,
Remember
yeah, yeah.
Lindy? I
Okay,
mean,
right.
she's not a Lindy, but like they're sisters,
Mm-hmm.
where and I
I
just
think she's almost worse than Lindy. It seems like, well, maybe it's just me. I don't know.
no,
Maybe they're
no,
about the same because both of them were pretty bad. You're right.
yeah, they're bad in they're Karens in their own way, but
They're
she
caring in their
just
own ways.
yeah,
Yeah,
she just gets on my nerves.
she
She
does.
really did.
She
She
really.
wears on you. She really wears on you.
Yeah, and all the questioning. Let's go over here to
Mhm.
Roro. Roro, what do you think about all of the questioning and all of the neurotic behavior from Nicole? And what do you think about Chris? Do you think that Chris could do anything differently, or is he fine as is?
Well, he did say that he didn't want to put up with that. Those were his exact words, that he didn't want to put up with her continually doubting herself and making him feel like, is there something that I'm doing to make you feel so insecure, basically, because she just keeps ranting on and on. Well, it's not that. It doesn't seem like it is now, but what if it could be? It could be, and
It could be.
you're
Could be
talking about.
the world's about to be hit by an asteroid, but who knows? I mean, are we going to focus on that our whole lives and just
Right,
worry,
right.
worry, worry? Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm not a therapist or a professional
Mm-mm.
mental health
Neither.
clinician. However, I mean, as a layman, I can see that she needs therapy. I don't recall anywhere where she's ever said that she actually had therapy before. So
Mm-mm.
she probably should invest into that. And for his own sake, for his peace of mind, he probably should, go on and suggest that to her, or I could see problems for them, some serious problems.
Right, right. Well, I will say this though. Now, I took a few little notes, and I will say that something that Chris said that I thought was both lovely and shocking that he said it, but not so much because he has professed his love for her earlier in the season. So something that he said is Nicole is my life, and I can't imagine my life without her. I said, wow, now that's
Mhm.
romantic. And
Mhm.
not only that, guys, but I will say, just kind of looking at my notes. I actually felt that Nicole in that dress. What was that like a? Would you guys say like a fuchsia, magenta? What would you call it?
Yes, I would
I
say
say
fuchsia.
fuchsia.
Fuchsia. Okay.
Mhm.
I felt like she was actually of the four women, the four ladies. She was the most gorgeous, best dressed. I loved her hair, her makeup, everything looked really nice. And I loved that he actually gave her a bouquet at the end, like when they celebrated with the toast. He gave her a bouquet of flowers. So
Yeah,
I
that was
thought that
nice.
was very romantical. What did you guys think? Any thoughts on that?
That was really nice of him.
It was.
Like you say, very romantic. So I wonder if she's taking the bouquet back to her place and he's going back to his place, though. What's going to happen?
Oh, stop. Oh, stop. Now, you
Well,
know what? That is a good point. I guess we'll find out next week when we also find out one of the other castmates' decision. But we're going to move on to the next couple,
Mhm.
Clinton Gina. Clinton Gina. Um, Roro, you want to start with what you thought about Clint and Gina? Did Clint's answer surprise you at all? His
nope, it
decision.
didn't surprise me, but I think it surprised Gina. She seemed to be a little taken aback,
Did
you
she do
know.
her horse? Did she do her horse laugh like Gingery, Gingery, Gingery?
No, I just saw the duck lips. I mean, her lips move, her mouth move in a certain kind of way. It's like she tried to hide it, but I caught it. It was really, really subtle and really, really fast. But she made a face, like, oh. I wasn't expecting that. I really thought he was going to say yes, and then I would get to say no, you know, and why I said no, but he said no first, so so there, you know.
Kimberly, do you agree with Roro? What did you think? Were you surprised that your Clinty Poo said no?
Yes, I was surprised. I was very hopeful because they didn't give it a fair shot, I don't believe, throughout the season. And it was not really any disrespect or any reason why they couldn't make it, like it wasn't a toxic situation or anything. So I was hoping that they would say yes and try to give it a little bit of effort from here. But I think they're just still holding on to pride and those comments about the ginger and a slender. I think that is just going to take it home, and the pride just would not let them give it a fair shot. So, indeed, I was surprised that we got a no out of both of them.
Right. What did you guys think? I almost forgot. What did you guys think about Gina's dress and Clint's suit? What did you think? Did they look good? Were you
Oh yeah,
impressed?
Yes,
yeah, they look good.
Yes,
I like them both.
Yeah, they look good.
I
very.
thought
I
so
like
too.
both, especially Clint.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I did. I thought he was the best dressed man of the season for the decision day. Absolutely. And coming over to Mocha, what did you think about their decision? Did Clint surprise you at all, Mocha?
Clint, at first I was like, is Clint? Because at first he was talking about the marriage and whatnot, and he was saying that I said, is he gonna throw the whammy on us by saying stay married? And he started, then he did a quick left turn, and he was like, but or whatever the way he transitioned, and then he said, that it wouldn't work or whatever the way he put it. So I was glad he did it this way. And like I think was it Roro that said she probably thought he was going to say for them to stay
Mm-hmm.
married so she could go ahead and embarrass him, but no, he gave it to her and he stayed true to himself. Like, no, it's not going to work. So
Hmm.
Yes,
did that.
yes. One of our
But
viewers
what
done. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm
I
sorry. Go
was
ahead.
going to say this,
Mm-hmm.
he like she has said in the past, like when she said came out and said, "Oh, I'm ready to be in a marriage." I was like, "Girl, if you don't stop that lie, you're not ready to be
I
in
know. Could
a
you
marriage."
believe her?
Right.
She said, I see that I'm ready to be married now.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that was
what?
a
Married
total
to who?
lie. That was a
Married to
total
who?
lie. Like, come on, like Gina,
That's
come on.
salon.
Like,
Right, who?
I can't believe she tooted up those Botox lips to say that.
Not the gingery lips of hers.
I mean, she said
Duck lips.
that. Like, 'cause I was I was ready to throw the remote at the TV. That's one of my grandson's movies.
you you and you're right. You're right, Roro. I'm sorry. I keep saying Gin because every time I think of her lips, I always think of her lips flopping when she says gingery features. But you're right. They're actually called duck lips. You are absolutely right.
Yes.
I got a note. I gotta read this. So she is not outdoorsy or the physical type, but she told him, she said, it just seems like the laws of attraction. And if Clint had been more intentional, he just would have been more intentional.
Mm,
Maybe
mm,
things could have worked out differently.
mm,
But wait a minute, Gina, aren't you the same one that said that when he talks to you about intimacy, that you're just so grossed out? She just
mm,
doesn't know what she wants to do with
mhm.
herself when she grows up.
Right.
I
She
just
needs
think
some
that's
memory work.
yes, yes, a
Mhm.
memory work, exactly. And Donna D
Yeah.
says that Gina was awful. Clint went over and beyond and above expectations, but Gina didn't appreciate anything. No, she didn't, and did nothing. Exactly, she did nothing in the whole marriage. And we'll find out some more people later on that did nothing too. Exactly, like Aries. Well, one we've already talked about one, and we can already talk about the other one. Clint should have said no. Gina will now have to find someone to to watch. Yes,
Hmm.
yes, yes.
Hmm.
Exactly. 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 Ellen agrees with you, Donna D. And what is it? Yeah, Ellen V. She says Gina was married to her shop. Exactly. Who keeps losing workers? And it's not only that, it's not even she doesn't really even own the building. She got about what, two workers? You ever seen a salon with just two workers and herself? Like really? Big deal.
That's a salon
Gina
suite.
Yeah, it was a sweet, exactly. Gina pretended like she would respond to Clint if he would have made some overtures. And right, we know she's lying. Exactly. We know she is exactly lying. That is it. That is it. That is
And,
it.
and
Um,
also, Aubrey, why not
yeah,
say the truth? Why not say the truth? Everything when we got married, we were caught up in the moment and everything. But
right.
when he said to me that he was attracted to women that were more slender, that just
Hmm.
turned me off. And we could never just say we could never turn around from the argument we had on the honeymoon, because that's
Right.
what it
Exactly.
is. That's really
Ex-
what it was. Just say what it is for
Say
her.
what it
For
really
him, it was
is.
different. He was willing to let that go and try to work at it. She was
I think
stuck
so.
in that. And
She
why not just
was.
say so?
She was stuck, just like, and that's an interesting observation. And thank you for that. That's perfect because so we see that Gina is stuck emotionally, just really literally stuck still back at the honeymoon like 6, 7 weeks ago, right? And then
Hmm.
we see that going to Nicole. Nicole gets stuck in whatever thing that she's trying to work through or questioning that she's trying to give for her insecurity. She's trying to browbeat Chris into saying that she's beautiful and she's slender and that she doesn't have body dysmorphia and all these things that she wants to be secure about, that she needs to build up within herself and not look for external validation, but try to work on the internal part of it, right?
Right.
So I absolutely agree with you. That's a very excellent point. And I do think that Clint, you're right. Although Clint was upset with her for talking about his gingery features, I
Mm.
do think that he forgave her and said, I really want this marriage, so I'm willing to work at it. But good point. Good point. We're going to move on to our last couple, last but not least, Shaq and Kirsten. Oh my God, where to even begin with this couple? I'm sorry, Kimberly. We got you all covered up over there in the corner. I'm so sorry, Kimberly. Kimberly, we'll start with you. What did you think about your I said bozo here, but I think his name is Shaq. I'm sorry. Well, Shaq, first of all, let's talk about this attire. What in the world was Shaq wearing on decision day? Was that like a clown suit, a gesture suit? What do you think that was, Kimberly?
A mess. It was a hot mess. I think his mentees helped him out there. I was not impressed. What in the
No.
world was going
Indeed.
on? Like, what would make you say, yeah, this is it for decision day? Nothing about that suit screamed by me.
Maybe he was trying to get Kirsten to laugh.
Maybe. Or
Uh,
roll her eyes, because I would have been rolling my eyes.
excuse me, guys. Excuse me. But go ahead. What were you surprised by Kirsten? Because I actually was a little bit surprised because Shaq whined. If he didn't whine for 8 weeks, I think he whined for 9. He whined. He whined. He whined. I need a wife to support me. I need a
Right.
wife to go to work with me on every day of the week. I need a wife to do this. I need a wife
Yep.
to introduce me to her dad so her dad can become my dad. Oh my good grief. Go
Yes.
ahead. I'm sorry. It was your
Right.
turn, Kimberly. Tell me what you tell me what you think of. Why do you
I
think that she said yes? Why?
I believe Kirsten is really willing to do the work. She has shown that she's willing to compromise. I
Okay.
love it so much. So I was not surprised by her giving a yes. I know we got the cliffhanger, so we don't know what Shaquille is going to say yet. But he better not give my girl a no. Now, y'all know these are my friends in my head. I like this couple friend wise, and I just don't understand why he would say no if that is going to be the case because Kirsten has rubbed his bald head every day. She fell in love with the bald head. She was not attracted to it at first. She was kissing him all the time. That was something that she was not interested in the beginning. She let the man meet her dad, which was a big thing for her. And then she even consummated the marriage, allegedly, according to Shaquille. They went that mile as well. So she is really trying. So I would expect her to say yes. I'm happy she did. Hopefully, Shaquille will come around and make the right decision as well. But I just don't know. I'm nervous for Shaquille if he, just embarrasses her like that because that will be an embarrassment seeing that she tried so hard during this season to meet all of his needs. I also feel that Shaquille is a little insecure because, like he said, he doesn't feel like he can give Kirsten what she desires. So that's going to be a
Oh.
big deal.
So now
Mm.
we're not talking about his package for sure, but we could be talking about the $1 million house. Is that possibly what you think he's insinuating? Because I was wondering about that too when he said that about he's not sure that he can give her the things that she needs.
Hmm. And I think it's not just the house either. I think it's just
Mm,
Kirsten wants a certain lifestyle in general, and she wants the man to lead and be the head and the provider. And he just seems a little intimidated, like he cannot support her financially, even if it's not the $1 million house, because she, joked about getting the car upgraded. And I'm not sure that she would want to take on a large percent of the bills in the home, period, which I support. I agree with her
I know
100%
that's
on that.
right.
Yeah.
And she gonna be
So I think
rubbing
it's
that big
more
old bald head, and she not gonna have
every
any
day.
income. Right. And wait a minute, she's not gonna have any income because she gotta come to work with him every day too. Don't forget that part.
Oh.
Yes, exactly. She can't hang out with the girls because she gotta
Right.
go to his functions all over across America.
Cross America, girl. Everything he goes to. Roro, what did you think of Kirsten saying yes? Did you believe it?
Well, yes, I was a little surprised, but she had been showing to me for the past few episodes that she was really into him. She had turned completely around. She did a complete 180 as far as I'm concerned, because before I thought she was playing for the camera, but I saw where she was being supportive and encouraging and, giving in to his, whatever he cried for, she gave it to him. She gave him her
Mm-hmm.
intimacy.
Include,
She,
right. I
yes.
was gonna say including the cookie. Right. Right.
Yes, she gave him all of her support, even like would probably say, well, even would jeopardize her own days that she had to be at work just to accommodate him, because she said whenever he has a meeting, she was going to be there. So that means sometimes she might have to sacrifice her own business. And then she even took him to meet her father, which I think is why he is feeling the way he's feeling. I think he probably got intimidated when he met her father, and he
Yeah.
knew
Did you
that
see
that's
that?
the type of
Mhm.
man he could never be.
Did we see?
Mhm.
Did everybody notice that the neighborhood that was outside the car window where we were when we saw when Shat met her dad? So if that's the neighborhood, I'm just saying. I'm going only by what I see. The car was parked in front of those very nice newly built homes that are, I don't know, anywhere from a half a million, depending on where you live in America, to maybe $750,000. So
Mhm.
yeah, I could see Shaq not being able to keep up with the Joneses, but I'm just thinking, can he even keep up with loving on a woman? That's what I'm wondering. I'm sorry, I'm
Oh.
curious.
Well,
A woman?
A,
Oh.
a woman,
Please,
not
emphasis.
not a mentee, but an actual full blooded woman, on a regular basis. We'll go over here to Mocha and see what Mocha thinks about it. What do you think, Mocha?
I don't like to put that on anybody unless I need proof of a
Mm-hmm.
person's
I said
sexuality.
I'm curious and I'm wondering. I didn't say for
I'm
sure.
not, I don't subscribe to that thing. So, hey, he's married to her. He seems like he likes her. He has some issues in certain departments. So, I don't know what his sexuality or whatever is. I think he's been raised with women, and he's worked with a lot of women. So I think
Mm,
he's learned to dial back some of his masculinity to tailor
mm,
himself to kind of, I won't say cater to women, but
mm,
adjust his attitude. So it's just it's a funny thing. It's a funny thing with him. I see that he can be petty and all that kind of stuff, but I mean, I was against Kirsten and some of the stuff, but it seemed like once they got it in that night, then it seemed like she kind of changed, but then he changed. It's like I,
well,
I don't
yeah, he
I don't
changed and
know.
turned into. Did he change for the better though, Mocha? I'm just trying to
No, he
understand
did.
what you're
He
saying.
didn't, and that's what
Change for the
surprised.
better.
That's what surprised me with him. Like
Mm.
I don't understand
So
him at
almost
all.
like he didn't like Cat. Almost like he didn't like.
Ooh,
Okay.
No, no.
Okay.
whoa.
All right. All right.
uh-oh.
All right. Let me let
Did
me
you say
let me
Kathy?
say
Did you say
let me
Kathy?
say let me
Kathy.
say my own hand. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Almost like he didn't like Let me spank my own hand for that. That was wrong. That was wrong.
Oh,
Wrong,
oh, get ready
Aubrey.
to say, "Oh,
Wrong. Bad
Kathy,
Now
girl.
listen.
Bad girl.
Now this is the thing.
she's on another show."
This is the thing. We don't know if he has social anxiety, if
Mm,
he came into the marriage with not a lot of experience with women. Like all that has to go into it. Like we may never know what the deal is, and then again we may know, and then we could say, ah, you were right. I don't know. I don't know, but I just know that from what I can see on camera, it was like you, Shaq, you wanted this and that and the other, but then when she started giving it to you, then it seemed like it's not enough. Like I saw the change. We all saw the change in
yeah.
Kirsten.
Yes,
So
Yep,
I
we
don't
did.
understand what his problem is. She starts giving you what you want, and then you're acting
Yes.
like it's not enough. Like, dude, she has a job and a career herself. Like, what more do
Right.
you want from her? I'm not getting it from him at all. I don't get it.
Well, why do you think so? When you were surprised to see the change in Kirsten, do you think that she trusts in Shaq enough that why she said yes? You know, is she gonna be? What do we think? So let's just kind of go over to next week, and because we know we left off on a cliffhanger without him saying what he wants, yes or no. What do you think he may possibly say next week?
I think he might be saying no.
And why do you think why do you feel like he would say no? When, like you said, she gave him everything that he wanted. She warmed up to him, she rubs his head, she's given him intimacy as Roro has pointed out. She's given the most that she can give. And she even said, during the decision day, she even said that she regretted not being there at his job for him because he wanted her to so badly. But my question is, why? Why did he need her there so badly? Why does he need
exactly,
someone to walk him through life? What is the problem? What's going on with him?
exactly.
I don't
You
know.
know,
It's almost in ways it's like he needed a trophy, like she's like a trophy wife that he could show off to everybody. But then it's like when she's ready to do that and be that for you, then you don't want it. Like that's the part that I don't understand with him.
or a
That like
beard.
he's giving these mixed signals.
There you go. That's
He's
what I'm
giving
saying.
these mixed signals that I just don't understand. Because he
Hmm.
was so down for he wanted her, he needed all this stuff from her, he wanted to touch her, but it was like she didn't want him to touch it, like all this stuff he was saying, and then
Hmm.
midstream he totally switched it, and that's the part that I don't get. Like she's giving you what you want, and now it's like you don't want, like I don't know.
Hmm. I don't know either. And I will say I don't think we talked about Shaq's clown suit basically, but I don't know if I said this or not. But I felt like Kirsten and Gina kind of tied for second place, best dress. I thought she looked very beautiful in the royal blue, and that's a color we've seen kind of throughout this season with her. That's a
Hmm.
very beautiful color on her. Very beautiful.
Oh yes.
Um, any other thoughts? So Kimberly, what do you think Shaq is going to say when they come back next week? What do you think he's going to say to Kirsten in the marriage?
I can honestly see him saying no based on the points that he's been making so far. As far as like the support lacking, and then Kirsten being shut off. She's not open, and he wants her to, open up more, share more about her history, where she is currently and what she wants for the future. But it seems to Shaquille that she's kind of closed off. Even we saw ourselves when we were going through the sessions of the questions. She really didn't open up much. It was kind of basic answers. So I could see him saying no based on that. They didn't progress enough during the show. So that
Right.
could be good reasons to say no.
Okay. 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 All right. And then he won't have his beard. I mean, he won't have his wife. Roro,
Mhm.
last but not least, what do you think Shaq is going to come back and say to us and tell us next week about his marriage? Is he going to say yes, or he's going to try to hold on, or is he going to say no and try to get back out there in the single scene along with Eris?
Well, I think that was Donna D that just put up there that they like to trick us, kind of lead us to thinking
Oh,
that he's gonna say no, but he's probably gonna say yes, just for the drama. So
yeah, because he
I
left
think
off
he'll
on a
probably
let me see if
say
I can find that. Yeah,
yes. I think he'll
there's the
probably say
comment.
yes, because
Mm-hmm.
he needs her for whatever reason. He needs her, like you were saying, he needs her to be with him when to show her off. Maybe it's because he's getting ready to get his, is it a doctorate he's going to school for?
Yes, it is.
Yes, yes,
And then
yes. Hmm.
he's gonna have this um certain image that he has to fulfill. And in some circles it might be considered weird if he's not married. And I think
Hmm.
that he's probably going to say yes, and his intentions for her, for as far as being a husband, are not exactly what they should be. Because
Right.
from what I've seen, it's all about him. Do this for me, do that for me, do this for me, do that for me, but he doesn't talk at all about what he would do for her.
Right. And this is where I was saying the comparison with Eris and Shaq. And you might not think it at first because Shaq seems a little more polished than Eris, but they are
Mhm.
basically the same person. They always want, what can you do for me? What can you do for me? Now, how can I serve my wife? How can I better serve her? How can I be at home for her? Let me stay out as late as I can, Shaq. Let me come into the house, not have any southern charms. I've never, and I was brought up by a southern mother. I would never walk into a room and not speak to the people in it, be it my family or be it strangers. That's a common courtesy that you extend. You come into a room, you say hello, how are you, hey, you say some type of greeting. And certainly if it's your spouse, that goes above and beyond just a stranger. You might want to go over and give that person a peck on the cheek, a hug. Like we saw Shaq coming into their apartment, and he wasn't even really responding to her asking him questions. He didn't go over to give her a hug, a kiss. He's always coming in late, wonder where he is.
Mhm.
I think Shaq is looking for somebody to cover up his tracks. That's what I think. And I know people say we don't talk about people's sexuality. Well, I'm here saying that this is my opinion. I think he's looking for a cover up. Shaq is not really been in any real relationship up until this point. He talked about that on the first beginning episode of Married at First Sight. Why? Why is that, Shaq? So now whatever he's got going on, I'm not, anti anything or pro anything. Be who you are, but just be honest about who you are. Just be honest about who you are. If that's the case, I don't think that growing up around a bunch of women causes men to roll their necks, to have the very feminine affectations that Shaq has. I think that's something that comes from somewhere else. Where exactly, I don't know, but I don't think it's just by growing up, because I do see boys that are raised by mothers, single mothers, and they don't have these affectations of women. They
Thank you.
don't have the they don't yeah, you're right. And they don't have the pettiness that Shaq has. Shaq not only has the physical affectations of some women, he also has the mentality of some women. Very petty and very, very petty person. That's my feeling, and I'm sticking to it. Guys, we're going to sign off. You guys say goodbye. Be sure to subscribe to Kimberly Reviews at her channel. She does a watch, Married at First Sight, a live watch and chat. Okay, silent chat. So guys, be sure to
Thank
go
you.
over there and check her out. Mocha Mima, be sure and go over to her channel. She does Real Housewives and that new summer hit show called Summer House Martha Vineyards. Okay. Come on over and subscribe and become part of my 18 membership, guys. If you enjoy what we're doing, we love you, and we'll see you later. We're going to shimmy and shake on out of here. Say bye, guys.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone. Thanks
Bye.
for coming.
Take care.
Mhm.
Yes, take
Happiness is
care,
a
guys.
choice.